All right, so let's talk about the Mbappe and Vini situation going on right now. Just in, this is just from Real Madrid Extra. This is all over X right now, not just from this account, but just in, Real Madrid squad have sided with Vinicius Jr. over Kylian Mbappe. In the Vini versus Mbappe debate, most players are backing Vini. With Mbappe injured, Arbeloa managed to build a strong momentum in big games, with Vini leading and the team rallying behind him. Mbappe hasn't been able to create the same connection, and it shows on the pitch as he often looks isolated. Now, before we get into this, I'm going to dive a little bit into Vinicius's output over this course of the game, over these fixtures here that I have. Keep in mind, we're going to go from this game to Mallorca, so a span of these games here. Keep in mind, at the beginning of the season, Real Madrid, after they had won the first El Clasico, were 5 points clear. Everything was clicking. They had lost a couple big games, yeah, but Vinicius Jr. was upset that he wasn't the main man of the show and got Xabi Alonso booted. So Vinny's happy and he backs Arbeloa, and so do the players, but since he came into position, they haven't won anything. You know, we lost La Liga, the Champions League. His first game was an exit from the Copa del Rey, so it's like he hasn't won anything. Players are just happier, and I don't think that that's the system it's supposed to be, especially with the team was clicking with Xabi Alonso, and Kylian Mbappe's output was extraordinary, some Cristiano Ronaldo numbers, and because Vinicius Jr. was upset he wasn't at the forefront, he complained, threw a fit, and got him booted. And this isn't about Vini. This is about the whole team in unison and collective. But because that post is showing that the locker room is siding with Vini, I just wanted to go through some things and explain why this Vini and Mbappe situation and the team choosing between one another is not good. It's not healthy. And if there's a divided locker room, Madrid can plan to never win trophies again until that's fixed. So I'm gonna skip past this one. Vini did score on this one, and we're gonna go to the Getafe game. In the 13th minute, Vini is 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, and he puts this shot wide. The game, as you see, ends 1-0. That's a loss. Even a draw then for 1 point, could have meant this streak without Mbappe, we went unbeaten, and that would have been a better position in the league. And who knows what 1 point could have done, a month later, and with the attitudes and the passion of the players. But in this span without Mbappe, Vini misses an easy one-on-one chance. Next, Man City. We're up 3-0 in the 56th minute from a first half hat trick from Valverde. The leg is already over, and Vini's going one-on-one with Donnarumma. Donnarumma trips him up, draws a penalty. Vini has a chance to put it up 4-0, even though the tires are already over at this point. And once again, Vini shoots, and he misses. The team that was, you'll see, this is a recurring trend. The team rallying behind Vini is a Vini that is not the same Vini that we saw 2 years ago, and not a productive Vini even when Mbappe's not there. But the reason that so many people are backing Vini is because they believe Mbappe is the problem and that he was the most overrated player this year and the most disappointing player this year, and that Gonzalo Garcia deserved the most minutes. He's arguing with teammates. He's frustrated. Him and Jude Bellingham reportedly don't even like each other. So the consensus going around right now is that it's Mbappe's fault. But even when Mbappe's not playing, Vini's output is not that great, and he's just happier. But happy doesn't win trophies. Is it Mbappe's fault Vini missed this penalty? What about this one? This is the next leg, and Vini scores a pin, same side, but you'll see before this pin, skied this, or actually I guess the pin was at the beginning because Man City, they drew the red card on Bernardo Silva's arm. But, I mean, he's moving the opposite direction of, I think this is Reinders here, and Donnarumma's already predicting a side. He skies this, by the way. So, easy goal scoring opportunity, it's missed. Apparently this is Mbappe's fault. This one, perfect pass from Arda Güler in the 27th minute. One-on-one with the keeper, first-time touch. He tries to puts it left, puts it wide. I guess that's Mbappe's fault because everyone's worse with Mbappe, but remember, Mbappe didn't play this game. This was offsides, but at the time, Vini didn't know it, and this is the most clear one-on-one he had over the two legs, and still, it's saved by Donnarumma. And then, finally, on the last kick of the game, on the 3rd minute of stoppage time, he scores a tap-in from a cross. And because he scored 2 goals in this leg, which was a pin on like the 13th minute, and a tap-in on the very last kick of the game, he got a 9 rating. And it goes to show that Madrid took on a very overrated Premier League side in the Champions League, as every team was. Even Arsenal's overrated. Because if you go back in the season, when Mbappe wasn't playing, we lost to Man City then, and Vini didn't do anything. Right? Rodrigo scored the only goal then. So even then, you know, Vini's output wasn't good. Mbappe didn't play, but because Mbappe didn't play in this situation, it's Mbappe's fault. Unfortunately, I'm not on Mbappe or Vini's side, and I can make a whole other video on this, you know, point of view, but from Mbappe. I'm just on this side of I want Madrid to succeed, I want Vini to succeed, I want Mbappe to succeed, and I want all those to happen at the same time. But it's been clear over the last 2 years that those can't. And you know, the whole argument was that we went on this run of 5 winning games, and then Mbappe came back and we lost. But you know, the problem with Mbappe, I mean, Vini's output, it just goes to show that his 2 goals weren't good. It was a garbage time and a pin. He went 1 for 2 for pins in the series. It wasn't even a good, you know, percentage. And the stoppage time, last kick of the ball. But someone will look at the score and look at his rating and say, oh my gosh, Vini carried. He's so much better without Mbappe. But if you actually watch the game and see how many chances he missed, this is just any other Vini, even when Mbappe is on the field. Because, I mean, you see Mbappe here. He scores even with Mbappe on the field. So it's unfortunate for Mbappe because I can say for certain, and you're just not a Madrid fan if you disagree with me, that we would have won this tie regardless of if Mbappe played or not, because when it comes to the Champions League, Premier League clubs this season have just been overrated and just haven't been good. And that's gone to show. I mean, this isn't just a dominant Real Madrid team. This is a horrible Real Madrid team, and they beat, you know, City 4-1 over 2 legs. And City looks like they might win the double. You know, so it goes to show that they're just overrated in the Premier League. And even if Mbappe had played, you know, both 90 minutes, both legs, Madrid wins this anyways. But it's just an unfortunate timing because Mbappe got an injury at the same time that we faced a overrated team in the Champions League, and because Mbappe didn't play, they think that that's a correlation with the performance of the club, when in reality, our opponent just wasn't at our level. This brings me into my next point because Mbappe's back at the end of this leg, right? I think he subbed in like the 67th or 68th minute or something like that. But he was back for the 2 legs against Bayern Munich, and because Mbappe was implemented back into the starting, 11. Our systems changed, and Mbappe missed so many chances, and he was the reason we didn't go through against Bayern Munich. And if he hadn't played, that we could have implemented the same, tactics we did against City and gone through. But let's not downplay Manuel Neuer's first leg performance and some other things. So I'm gonna have a couple more slides here just to show why the shift shouldn't be completely blamed on Mbappe, even though he did miss a lot of chances. Still scored 2 goals over the 2 legs, which is good. It's against, the best team in Europe and the best goalkeeper of all time. So let's just go to this next one. This is actually at the start of the second half in the first leg. I wasn't able to get the full clip because the scoreboard here, but that's a ball in the middle of the air, probably 20 feet up, maybe 30 feet up. That's Carreras here. This is Vini, and Vini gets a pass and tries to find Carreras, and instead kicks the ball 30 feet in the air, which Alvaro Carreras is already running this way. So he's had to stop his momentum and try to track back to the ball, which is 30 feet in the air. And as a left back who's running the opposite direction, he's just not going to be able to control that like a winger would or some sort of skill position. So, yeah, he loses the ball, but the only reason he's put in this position is because Vini kicks it 30 feet in the air to him when he's 20 feet away. So if Vini just makes a better decision, we don't lose this ball, and Bayern Munich don't score 30 seconds into the second half. On the other hand, the first goal, I wasn't able to get this clip either. Vini tries to make a pass, I don't remember to who, but it bounces off of Olise, right? And it's a lazy pass. It's a simple pass, and he just is lazy with it. He tries to make a pass, it deflects off Olise, Bayern gain possession, they go on the counter, it's that through ball to Luis Diaz, it's 1-0. Both goals in the first leg from Bayern Munich came from a Real Madrid offensive mistake, and both of those offensive mistakes came from Vinicius. I'm not going to say that we win this leg if he doesn't make those mistakes, but I am saying that the two goals that Bayern Munich did score in the first leg 100% come from Vini being lazy and a mistake from Vini. Okay? On the other hand, right, he has the chance to make up for what he did. He's one-on-one with Neuer here, and that's Upamecano. They're both tracking back, but he's got some space on both of them. And most of the time, Vini's pretty clinical with this, but if you've seen the game and you've seen the clip, you know that he puts it wide. He's one-on-one with Neuer, and he has a chance to cut the lead. He misses this chance, right? So the two goals come from him, and he misses the chance. But everyone still wants to say, because Mbappe was implemented back into the starting 11, that it's his reason we lose. But I'm counting 3 reasons, and 3 reasons that could result in goals from Vini. 2 to Bayern Munich, and then this one. Fast forward to the next leg, and we see Mbappe would be here, and he makes a move, he cuts inside, he beats his defender, and he low crosses the ball inside, and it was so intended for Bellingham, and Vini cuts in front of him, and it completely whiffs on the ball. I don't even think he puts it on target. But this was a scoring opportunity. It was 4-4. This was the second half. And Bellingham, I would be confident, would slot that from there, but Vini steps in front and destroys the chance. So, over the course of 2 legs, after Mbappe being back, Vini costs 2 goals on offense, 2 on defense. And these are just clips that I had shown. And don't get me wrong, Mbappe missed loads of chances, and he should have finished them too, but the only reason I'm addressing this is because of the locker room choosing Vini over Mbappe for what he did over the course of Mbappe not being there. He had, I think, 7 GAs over those games, but 3 or 4 of them were pins. And the truly only good performance he had was the Atletico Madrid game. But he also even scored a pin in that. So, I'm not on Mbappe's side. I'm not on Vini's side. I'm a Madrid fan, and I see the fault in Mbappe, especially with what he did last game. He just doesn't have the passion. I think he thinks the season's over, so he doesn't have anything to play for. But I'm not gonna stand for the whole that it's Mbappe's fault, because he put up 15 Champions League goals this season. I don't care who they're against. If they were horrible opponents, then any good striker would be putting 15 Champions League goals up. That's not an argument. That's the 3rd highest all time, right? 17 and 16 both from Ronaldo or higher. So the 3rd most in a campaign, even though he had more games, but he put it out in 11 games. And some were against weak opponents, but if they were that weak, everyone would be doing it. So you can't blame him for scoring goals, because if he was the problem, and if it was that easy to be scoring goals, then everyone would be. So if Madrid, I don't know if I have one after this, I don't. If Madrid want any chance to succeed in the future, then something needs to happen with the locker room and with the management and the new manager that needs to be able to come in. But it's sad because us fans are dividing Vini and Mbappe more than I think they actually are divided. I don't think they necessarily love each other, but they definitely do not dislike each other like I think Bellingham and Mbappe do. But, the whole locker room has the backing of Vini right now, and if it was up to Vini, Arbeloa would be the coach again next season. But let's not act like the first half of the season didn't happen when we were clear of Barca by 5 points. We had just won our first El Clasico in like a year. Mbappe was literally putting up Ronaldo numbers, and I think that we were just right on the edge of starting to win big games. And then the whole substitution in the El Clasico, when Vini throws a fit, doesn't make a public apology to Alonso, and at that moment he had lost the locker room. So I'm not going to put that loss to Barca in the Supercopa to him, because the locker room was already lost at that point. Alonso knew he was out. But we had a new coach who was going to implement a new system that I think if you had given some time would have won things. And because Vini was upset, he got fired, and now look, we're going trophyless again. So yes, the locker room may be behind Vini, and yes, they may want Arbeloa, and Vini is happy again, which I'm happy about, but happy doesn't win trophies, and I don't want to keep seeing all of this blame put on Mbappe, because we were in a good position earlier this season, and Vini wasn't the one who was happy. So that's what I got. If you're seeing this, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm probably going to make a video on who should be the next manager for Real Madrid, because it seems like Alvaro Arbeloa is not staying. And, yeah, and then I might, get into some other stuff. But, yeah, that's all I got.